afternoon, coming to you as the rivers are rising and wet, blustery weather keeps us on alert. This is KUOW Seattle Now. I'm Paige Browning with a roundup of today's top stories. It's Wednesday, December 10th. Flooding is causing evacuations, road closures, and rivers to rise. We have a lot to share with you tonight, so buckle up to hear what's going on with your neighbors in the region this drenched day. First, Governor Bob Ferguson has issued a statewide emergency declaration in response to the intense flooding Washingtonians are experiencing this week. And as Noelle Gasca reports, emergency responders are preparing for evacuations.
Robert Ezell is the director of the Washington Military Department's Emergency Management Division. He says a number of rivers are expected to reach or exceed record flood levels, including the Skagit River in northwest Washington.
So what that means is, and what we're hearing from the county, is they're preparing to evacuate 75,000 people who are living in the low-lying areas.
Ezell says they're also anticipating levees on the Skagit River to be overtopped as the atmospheric river stretches into Friday. Governor Ferguson says he'll request an expedited emergency declaration from the federal government. Noelle Gasca, KUOW News.
About 40 homes near the Puyallup River are under a go-now evacuation order. They're in the Pierce County town of Orting. Other parts of the city are under an evacuation watch. The atmospheric river has not relented, and it's filling rivers and low-lying areas. Here's what the Cedar River sounded like rushing past the Renton Library today. As of our recording time at 4 p.m., multiple roads are closed in the Puget Sound region because of standing water on the roads. Eastbound I-90 is closed through the town of Snoqualmie, which sits along the Snoqualmie River. Nearby, State Route 202 is closed from Falls City Road to Fish Hatchery Road. State Route 410 is closed completely between Puyallup and Sumner and a stretch east of Enumclaw. And in Orting, State Route 162 is shut down. There's a link in the show notes to look up real-time closures. But for now, we are in the thick of the atmospheric river system, not out of the woods yet. Meteorologist Steve Reedy is with the National Weather Service.
Over here in western Washington, we have 22 rivers in flood stage right now. What we're particularly concerned about is this rainfall as it makes its way over the Cascades. That water is going to run down and further escalate river levels.
Reedy says flooding on the Skagit, Skykomish, and Snohomish rivers are top concerns. We'll probably reach the peak of the storm this afternoon and tonight, and it should taper off tomorrow morning. A shout out to you listening tonight. If you are affected or a loved one is, send us a note or a voicemail, that's even better, and we may use it on KUOW. In other environment news, Washington's last remaining coal-burning power plant was required to shut down at the end of this month. A deal announced this week will keep it operating, but with a new fuel, natural gas. John Ryan reports.
The Centralia power plant will get a second lease on life by converting to a different fossil fuel. Canadian company TransAlta reached an agreement with Puget Sound Energy to run the plant on natural gas for another 16 years. It would become Washington's largest gas-burning power plant. Forecasts for rapidly increasing electricity use have utilities scrambling to meet demand. Back in 2011, the legislature gave the coal-burning plant 14 years to shut down and stop being the state's biggest source of climate-harming pollution. Natural gas is mostly methane, a superpollutant of the global climate. Leaks of methane upstream of end users like power plants or homeowners can make natural gas as harmful to the climate as coal. John Ryan, KUOW News.
In the latest over a Pride soccer match, Egypt and Iran have now issued complaints to FIFA. Seattle will celebrate LGBTQ Pride outside Lumen Field during their World Cup match there. Iran said it planned a formal complaint at an upcoming FIFA meeting in Qatar. Seattle's organizing committee says it was moving forward as planned with the community programming outside the stadium during Pride weekend in June. Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes will remain on the job, even as a new mayoral administration comes into place. Incoming Mayor Katie Wilson confirmed in media statements today that she will retain Barnes and also keep Fire Chief Harold Scoggins, Emergency Management Director Curry Mayer, and the Care Chief Amy Barden. Wilson says each of these leaders are committing to work under her vision of community safety. That includes utilizing non-police personnel to respond to emergencies that do not pose a threat of violence or medical crisis. For the first time, King County has a black woman council member. Yesterday, the council appointed Rhonda Lewis to fill the vacant District 2 position. That seat became open after Gurmai Zahalai was elected to King County Executive. Lewis is a former chief of staff for Zahalai. She also served as the chief of operations for former county executive Dow Constantine and city administrator for Tukwila. Lewis does not plan to campaign for the District 2 position when her term expires next November. And finally, today, the city of Tacoma has made changes to its landlord-tenant laws. The city council voted last night to shorten the winter eviction moratorium period by 30 days. It also exempts affordable housing providers from the eviction ban altogether. The new rules also allow landlords to charge higher late fees, but if landlords raise the rent by more than 5% in a year, they'll be required to provide tenants with relocation assistance if they move out. Next time on Seattle Now, the Seattle Police Guild has a new contract, and not everyone's happy about it.
You have to keep in mind, people don't really necessarily blame the police guild for negotiating things that they think best protect their members. They're looking at the city leaders saying, why are you guys passing this contract?
Hear more Thursday morning. That's all for today from the KUOW newsroom in Seattle. Our producer is Andy Hurst, and I'm Paige Browning. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. See you tomorrow.